You don't have to beg for love, because the moment you start begging, you lose the essence of what love truly is. Love should never feel like pleading for attention or waiting for someone to remember your worth. When you beg for love, you hand over the power of your happiness to someone else's hands, and that is the most painful kind of surrender. You were not created to chase after people who cannot see your light. You were created to shine regardless of who stays or who leaves. The truth is, love that requires convincing is already broken, because genuine love flows naturally, effortlessly, and sincerely. It doesn't demand proof, it doesn't ask you to shrink, and it never makes you feel less than enough. You are not supposed to run after love that hides from you. You are meant to grow so strong that love finds you without struggle. You deserve to be chosen without hesitation, cherished without condition, and respected without reminders. Love begins the moment you stop begging for it and start believing that you are worthy of it. Many people confuse love with attachment, and that's where the pain begins. They think holding on tightly means loving deeply, but true love is never a cage. It's wings. It allows both souls to grow, to breathe, to become. When someone walks away, it doesn't always mean you weren't good enough. Sometimes it means you were too much for their small capacity to love. You see, not everyone is ready for a heart as vast as yours. Not everyone is capable of embracing a soul that feels so deeply. And that's okay. Their inability to see your worth does not make you worthless. It simply reveals their blindness to beauty that comes without a price tag. You have to stop measuring your value by how long someone chooses to stay. Real love doesn't fade when times get tough. It stands taller, it protects, it endures. So if someone can leave you easily, let them, because they were never your home to begin with. When you begin to understand your own worth, everything around you changes. The way you walk, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself. It all shifts from desperation to confidence. You stop seeking validation because you finally realize you are complete on your own. You no longer settle for half-hearted effort because you know you deserve love that is whole and intentional. You stop chasing people because what is meant for you will never have to be begged for. It will arrive naturally, peacefully, and with certainty. The world mirrors how you see yourself. If you see yourself as unworthy, it will send you people who treat you that way. But if you see yourself as enough, it will send you those who recognize and honor that truth. Self-worth is not arrogance, it's acceptance of your divine value. It's the gentle reminder that you are a masterpiece, not a mistake. And the moment you carry that energy, people who once ignored you will notice. But by then, you will have outgrown their attention. There's a certain peace that comes when you stop begging for love and start giving it to yourself. You learn to sit with your silence, to enjoy your own company, to find beauty in solitude. You start understanding that being alone is not the same as being lonely. Alone is where you heal, where you rediscover yourself, where you learn to fill your own cup so that when love does arrive, it's a sharing of abundance, not a cry for rescue. You stop depending on others to complete you, because you finally understand that you were never incomplete. You realize that love in its truest form begins with self-compassion. The gentler you are with yourself, the stronger your heart becomes. You start replacing self-doubt with self-respect and fear with faith. That is when your energy shifts from seeking love to radiating it. And that energy never goes unnoticed. You lose nothing by walking away from someone who can't appreciate your heart. In fact, you gain everything. The freedom to grow, the space to heal, and the strength to love yourself again. When someone walks away, it's the universe protecting you from a love that would have drained you. Rejection, in truth, is often divine redirection. It's life's way of saying, you deserve more than this. So don't chase after doors that were closed for your protection. Don't waste your energy trying to prove your worth to people who have already decided not to see it. Every goodbye makes room for a better hello. The love that leaves you teaches you to build boundaries, and the love that stays teaches you what safety feels like. You are not losing people. You are shedding what was never aligned with your growth. When you look back at the moments you begged for love, you will realize you were actually begging for understanding, attention, and validation, things that should have been freely given. Love that demands effort to exist is not love. It's emotional labor disguised as affection. You were taught to fight for love, but you were never told that love should also fight for you. Real love is not silent when you are hurting. It does not disappear when you need it most. It stays. It supports. It heals. Begging only drains your soul and weakens your spirit. But knowing your worth builds you, uplifts you, and brings peace to your heart. You are allowed to walk away from what doesn't love you the way you deserve to be loved. And you don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. There comes a time when you must stop trying to convince people of your value and simply embody it. Because those who truly see you will never need convincing. When you operate from a place of self-love, you naturally attract relationships that reflect that love. You begin to notice how peaceful life becomes when you stop forcing connections. The right people don't need reminders to stay. They stay because they feel safe with you, respected by you, and inspired by you. You must believe that what is meant for you will never miss you, and what misses you was never meant for you. This kind of trust transforms your entire existence. You stop fearing loss and start embracing growth. You no longer see endings as failures, but as new beginnings designed for your evolution. Every time you choose yourself over desperation, you raise your standards and strengthen your spirit. You teach others how to treat you by what you tolerate. When you stop begging for love, you stop accepting half-efforts, mixed signals, and emotional crumbs. You begin to demand love that feels consistent, not conditional. And that shift doesn't just change your relationship, it changes your destiny. You stop replaying the past and start rewriting your future. You stop asking, "Why didn't they love me?" and start saying, "I love myself enough to let go." It's in that moment that healing truly begins. You realize that love was never meant to be a battlefield. It was meant to be a sanctuary where both hearts rest without fear. You must remember that your value doesn't decrease because someone failed to recognize it. Some people can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. Don't let their inability define your worth. The love you seek begins within you. The peace you crave is already inside your soul. Every heartbreak is just a chapter, not the whole story. And when you finally stop begging for love, you start receiving it from yourself, from life, and from those who truly deserve to be part of your journey. The power to be loved has always been in your hands. It begins the moment you decide you are enough, exactly as you are. When love leaves, it feels as if a part of your soul has been torn away. The silence that follows can be deafening, and the emptiness inside can make you question your worth. You replay every moment wondering where you went wrong, trying to understand what you could have done differently. But sometimes there is nothing to fix, because love ending is not always your fault. Pain enters our lives not to break us, but to awaken us. It is through pain that we learn what peace truly feels like. It teaches us to rebuild from within, to rely on our own strength instead of someone else's presence. Every heartbreak holds a hidden lesson, whispering softly, "You deserve better." Pain is not a punishment. It's a path toward rediscovering who you are without the layers of someone else's love. And through that pain, self-respect begins to grow quietly, steadily, and powerfully. Self-respect is born in the moments when you are forced to stand alone. When love fades and you are left with only your reflection. That is when you begin to see yourself clearly. You start realizing how much of yourself you gave away just to keep someone else close. You remember all the times you stayed silent to avoid conflict. All the times you lowered your standards to be loved. That realization hurts, but it is also healing. Because pain reveals the truth that love without respect is not love at all, it's a form of emotional dependence. The moment you learn to respect your own feelings, your own boundaries, you stop allowing others to cross them so easily. You understand that walking away is not weakness, it's wisdom. You are not being heartless. You are simply choosing to protect your peace. That is how pain becomes your greatest teacher. There is a beauty in brokenness that only those who have suffered deeply can understand. Pain strips away the illusions and leaves you with the raw essence of who you are. When you are broken, you learn humility, patience, and resilience. You begin to value small things, quiet mornings, peaceful nights, and the comfort of your own company. You stop needing loud love and start craving calm energy. You realize that love should not be a battlefield where your heart constantly fights to survive. True love should feel safe, not suffocating. It should bring calm, not chaos. The lessons pain gives you are not glamorous, but they are sacred. They build a foundation so strong that even when life shakes you again, you don't crumble. You stand tall, not because the storm is gone, but because you now know you can withstand it. When someone you love breaks your heart, the world seems to pause. You feel like time has stopped, but in reality, it is pushing you toward transformation. That heartbreak becomes a mirror reflecting everything you've ignored about yourself. It shows you the parts that need healing, the wounds you've hidden behind smiles. It teaches you the importance of boundaries, reminding you that not everyone deserves access to your heart. You begin to see that love without effort is empty, and affection without consistency is manipulation. Pain sharpens your perception. It helps you see red flags that once looked like passion. You stop mistaking attention for care and promises for commitment. This awareness is painful, but it's also freeing. Because once you know what you deserve, you'll never accept less again. In moments of heartbreak, there's a temptation to close off completely, to build walls so high that no one can enter again. But pain isn't asking you to become bitter. It's asking you to become wiser. Closing your heart might feel like safety, but true healing happens when you learn to keep your heart open without losing your boundaries. You learn that vulnerability is not weakness, it's courage. You start loving yourself in the ways you once wished someone else would love you. You forgive yourself for trusting the wrong people, for staying too long, for ignoring the signs. And in that forgiveness, you find freedom. Pain doesn't destroy you, it refines you. It teaches you to balance empathy with self-respect, kindness with firmness, and love with discernment. You emerge from heartbreak not broken, but beautifully rebuilt. Every time you survive a painful ending, you rise a little stronger. You start understanding that your worth was never tied to someone's ability to stay. The love that left was never meant to be the love that defines you. What defines you is how you rebuild afterward, with grace, patience, and hope. You learn that self-respect means choosing yourself even when it hurts. You realize that closure doesn't always come from others. Sometimes it comes from your decision to stop seeking answers. Pain transforms into power when you use it as fuel to grow. You begin to see that losing someone is not the end. It's the beginning of rediscovering yourself. It's the moment you finally stop begging for love and start embodying it. Pain is also a reminder of how deeply you are capable of feeling. To hurt is to have loved sincerely, to have given your all without holding back. There is no shame in that, but there is wisdom in learning that love should never cost your self-respect. You deserve a love that chooses you on your worst days, that doesn't vanish when things get hard. Pain teaches you to demand that kind of love, not through anger, but through awareness. It makes you realize that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is to walk away. You start replacing "why me" with "thank you for teaching me," because through heartbreak, you gain something far greater than the love you lost. You gain a deeper relationship with yourself. You become your own safe place. As you heal, you start noticing the quiet strength that was always within you. The same heart that once broke still beats, still hopes, still loves. But now it loves with wisdom. You no longer rush to fill empty spaces with temporary people. You learn to be selective with your energy, because peace has become more valuable than attention. You understand that not every connection deserves continuation. Pain teaches you patience, the patience to wait for the kind of love that aligns with your growth. You no longer chase validation because you've already found it within. You start radiating self-respect, and that energy naturally repels those who can't honor it. Healing doesn't mean forgetting, it means remembering without hurting. It means you've finally made peace with your past. And when you look back, you realize that pain didn't come to destroy you. It came to awaken you. It showed you the strength you never knew you had. It made you appreciate your own resilience and your ability to rise. Through pain, you learned to prioritize peace over people who disturb it. You discovered that your heart is not fragile, it is fierce, forgiving, and full of light. You see now that every tear had a purpose, every goodbye had meaning, and every loss was a lesson in love and dignity. The person you are becoming is stronger, softer, and more self-aware than the person you were before. That is the quiet gift of pain. It molds you into someone who no longer seeks love from broken places but creates love from within. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone, because your worth has never depended on who stays or who leaves. When people walk away from you, let them. Your journey is not meant to be spent chasing those who cannot see your value. The strongest form of power is silent growth, the kind that doesn't scream for attention, but shines through transformation. When someone underestimates you, don't argue, just evolve. Let your silence become the echo of your strength, and your success the voice of your healing. The truth is, nothing makes a person regret losing you more than seeing you become everything they thought you couldn't be. You don't need revenge or validation. You only need evolution. The day you stop proving yourself to others is the day you start proving your strength to yourself. Silence is not weakness. It's wisdom in disguise. There is a kind of peace that comes from realizing you don't have to fight to be seen anymore. When you choose silence, it's not because you have nothing to say. It's because you've outgrown the need to explain your worth to those who refuse to understand it. People often confuse silence with defeat, but silence is the language of inner power. It's the calm confidence that whispers, "I know who I am." While others speak out of ego, you move with purpose. You stop defending yourself and start defining yourself through your actions. Your silence becomes sacred when you realize it protects your peace better than words ever could. And in that silence, transformation begins quietly, beautifully, and powerfully. There comes a moment in life when you stop seeking closure from others and create it for yourself. You learn that you don't have to prove you were right, loyal, or worthy. Time will reveal what truth cannot hide. The people who left may eventually see the truth, but by then you'll be too busy growing to care. You learn that the best form of revenge is not bitterness, but happiness. You start glowing differently when you let go of resentment. You stop waiting for apologies that may never come, and instead, you forgive not for them, but for your own freedom. You understand that forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. It means liberation. You rise above the noise because peace feels better than proving a point. That is when your silence becomes their loudest regret. Every ending is secretly a beginning disguised as loss. When someone walks out of your life, it's an invitation to step into a higher version of yourself. The emptiness they leave behind becomes the space where your growth takes root. You start focusing on yourself, on your dreams, your healing, your peace. You learn to channel pain into power, heartbreak into healing, and rejection into redirection. The moment you start building yourself up instead of breaking yourself down, you become unstoppable. You realize that you never needed their love to validate your existence. You only needed your own acceptance. The more you invest in yourself, the more you rise. And while they may one day wonder how they lost you, you will already be standing in the light of your own strength. The most beautiful transformation happens when you stop chasing and start creating. You no longer waste your energy trying to make people stay. Instead, you pour that energy into becoming the person you were meant to be. You start dreaming again, believing again and building again. You focus on your growth, your purpose, and your peace. And slowly, the pain that once consumed you becomes the fire that fuels you. The love you once begged for, you now give to yourself effortlessly. You look in the mirror and realize that the person looking back is no longer broken but brave. You understand that healing is not about forgetting what happened, but learning that it no longer defines you. And as you rise, your transformation speaks louder than any explanation ever could. The people who doubted you will eventually see what your silence built. They will see how gracefully you bloomed after they left, and that will be their regret, not because you became successful, but because you found peace without them. You become a walking reminder that strength is silent and growth is personal. You no longer carry anger in your heart. You carry lessons in your soul. You no longer seek revenge, you seek peace. You no longer chase what's gone, you attract what aligns. Every step forward becomes a silent victory. You start realizing that true power isn't loud, it's calm. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth. Someone who no longer begs to be understood but chooses to be at peace instead. As you grow, you begin to understand that not everyone is meant to stay forever. Some people are lessons, not lifetimes. They came to show you something about yourself, to help you grow, to push you closer to the person you are destined to become. When you stop clinging to what's gone, you make room for what's meant to arrive. You realize that closure doesn't come from conversations. It comes from acceptance. You no longer ask, "Why did they leave?" but instead whisper, "Thank you for the lesson." Because every goodbye taught you to love yourself a little more, to respect yourself a little deeper, and to trust life a little stronger. You see now that people's absence was not your loss, it was your liberation. Their departure created the silence in which you found yourself again. There's a power in moving on quietly, in walking away without drama, in choosing peace over proving points. When you stop reacting, you start healing. When you stop defending yourself, you start protecting your energy. You learn that not everyone deserves a response. Some people deserve your absence. Your silence becomes your boundary, and your growth becomes your answer. You start to value your emotional stability more than being right. You stop showing up where you're not valued, and that decision alone changes everything. The person you become after heartbreak is stronger, wiser, and softer all at once. You start living with intention, loving with awareness, and walking with quiet confidence. That quietness is not emptiness, it's evolution. The transformation that follows heartbreak is not visible overnight. It's slow, patient, and deeply personal. It happens in the moments when you choose not to react, not to chase, not to explain. It happens when you wake up one day and realize you no longer ache for what left you. Your heart still remembers, but it no longer hurts. Your energy is lighter, your smile is genuine, and your peace is unshakable. You realize that your silence was never about weakness, it was about wisdom. You understand now that healing doesn't always make noise. It blooms quietly, like dawn after the darkest night. And by the time they notice how much you've changed, it's too late for them to return to the version of you they once took for granted. You don't have to make anyone regret losing you. Your growth will do that for you. The glow that comes from peace, self-love, and healing is something no apology can match. People will remember your kindness long after they forget your pain. They will remember how gracefully you let them go and how powerfully you rose afterward. They will realize that while they were busy looking for something better, you were busy becoming it. That realization will be their regret, not because they lost you, but because they lost the chance to love someone who had the courage to love deeply and let go gracefully. You become living proof that silence is not emptiness. It's power, transformation, and peace wrapped in strength.